Good evening, race fans, and welcome to not the virtual Knoxville Raceway here in Knoxville, Iowa at the Marion County Fairgrounds as we get ready to go with night number 2 of the All-Star Racing Series. My name is the boss man, Al Smith, here bringing you all the action here tonight as the full-fendered Warriors invade the sprint car capital of the world. And we are here, like I said, at the Knoxville Raceway at the first half mile of the season for the All-Star Racing Series presented by Autocraft Body and Paint here on the iRacing Network. We welcome you out here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. We want to thank everybody for tuning on in what is going to be a action-packed racing night here. These drivers have been out on the track tuning their cars for you all afternoon and evening as the sun starts to set here. And that's where everybody wants to end, right there in Victory Lane here tonight. Let's take a look at tonight's race information brought to you by Autocraft Paint and Body Works for the All-Star Racing Series. Like I said, we are here in Knoxville, Iowa at a half-mile track where it is 48 degrees temperature, but that does not mean that's what the track, it's the track temperature, so a lot of grip and moisture down in this racetrack. Last week, we were at the Cedar Lake Speedway for the inaugural race of the All-Star Racing Series, race number 1, and it went to Jacob Lassiter. James Braswell Jr. in the 18 Junior would come home in your number 2 spot, and Brandon Marlowe rounded out your top 3. Yeah, I want to welcome everybody out there, and welcome Roger Move. Hope you're healing up, my friend. We miss you here on the network. As we take a look at the current point standings coming into tonight, it is Jacob Lassiter with the points lead over Justin Holl, John Darby, James Braswell, and Sage Luther, rounding out your top 5 in points. How do they get those points? Well, they qualify here tonight in these heat races, randomly drawn heat races. When they signed in to the back gate here tonight, they all come through. They draw out a little number out of there, and in heat races, the heat race winner will get 20 points, and then it goes down by 2 for the most part all the way through the field for your heat races. And then we go into our second round of heat races, where the heat race points are a little bit more. 30 points to win, 27 for second, 24 for third, and so on. But this is race number 2 of the 8-race season here for the All-Star Super Series. And we want to welcome you all out there. They welcome you out here as well for the All-Star Racing Series here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network, and it is brought to you by Autocraft Paint and Body Works, ABR Setup Shop, JDM Designs, FEGPC, Sim Motion, Inside Sim Racing. We come back to the live picture. You see these guys working around the racetrack here. I'll tell you right now, Justin Holt is fastest so far in practice. Just a few minutes left here to go in our practice sessions, and while we can, we're going to take a step away because it'll be action-packed all the way to tonight's main event. So we'll be right back here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. You are watching the All-Star Sim Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12-Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to the Knoxville Raceway, where the drivers of the cars and stars of the All-Star Racing Series are getting ready to put on some great action for you. We got 2 rounds of heat races followed by a 50-lap main event coming in to tonight's main event. So you got to get through these heat races. They get all stacked up. They go out there, a lot of points on the line, so every position matters. And it's all by the luck of the draw in the first heat race. And the second heat race, you race based on where you finish in your first round of heat races. So a very unique set of qualifying here for the All-Star Racing Series, put together by Autocraft Paint and Body Works. Great sponsors here of the All-Star Racing Series, and they are proud to be here tonight and ready to put on a big good show for you here tonight. I'm excited. Knoxville, one of my favorite racetracks, and if you guys know me at all, I love to go out there and watch the Knoxville Nationals and all the sprint car racing from the sprint car capital of the world. But tonight, a little bit different. We're going to have the late models, like the late model nationals here at the Knoxville Raceway. And I can tell you right now, these drivers are chomping at the bit to put on a great show for you. As one of the famous upstate New York announcers always said, you have to have a favorite. Let them know who you're rooting for here tonight when we get into these races coming on up here in just a moment's time. We should be wrapping up our practice, and heat race number 1 gonna come to the grid as we get ready to go with our first heat race of the evening. And we are really looking forward to tonight's racing action as they get ready to go here on the front stretch. So without further ado, let's go and go through our starting lineup here tonight for tonight's heat race number 1. Starting up on the front row in Hood Up Motorsports, it's the number 38. This is Larry Townsend. Townsend going to start on the inside of row number 1. Slated to start there on the outside, car number 75. That's Andy Piercerfield out of Georgia, going to start in the number 2 position. Slated to roll off third will be car number 6. That's Jeff Helton. His outside will be the 386 of Blake Doyle. Slated to roll off on the inside of row number 5 will be the 427. This is the James Ferguson in the WFO Racing 427. To his right elbow will be the number 28. This is the Hood Up Motorsports driver of Blake Brown. Blake Brown going to roll off in the 6th position. And shotgun on the field here tonight, or for the heat race, number 1 will be the number 18 junior of Blake Braswell. So that's your 7 cars that were slated to start here for heat race number 1 as they roll down the backstretch. And in the turn number 1, Larry Townsend is up on the front row of this heat race here. We got 3 of these, possibly, I believe, maybe 4. I can't keep count. I don't have my socks off, ladies and gentlemen. But as they get ready to go, here 2 drivers not making the call in heat race number 1. That's going to be Andy Piercerfield and Blake Doyle, unable to make the call for heat race number 1 as the fields will pace down the backstretch behind the Chevy Silverado pace car. The driver out of Van Buren, Arkansas, the Rocket Racing Setups. Car number 38 will start on the front row. Virtue of the guys not starting there, getting there on the outside of the front row. That'll move Blake Brown in the number 28 car to your outside of the front row as we get ready to go. With green flag racing for heat number 1. It is up and we are underway down here in the turn number 1. Yeah, ABR setup shop heat race number 1. Already going to see Townsend jumping out to early race lead, but we got Blake Brown into that number 2 position. Jeff Helton into that number 3 spot. He's being hounded by the 427 of Ferguson in lap 1, already into the books in this 8-lap contest for heat race number 1. Contact in the back. Braswell going to get into the left rear quarter panel of the number 427 of James Ferguson, and Braswell going to do the gentleman thing and slow up, wait for Ferguson to catch up, but able to get back underway. But yellow flag going to come out here in heat race number 1 for the driver of the number 427. Let's take a look back here and see what caused the accident down here in turn number 1. See him racing off turn number 2. Ferguson goes to the inside. Braswell, he had the steam, gets down in the corner and just couldn't get off the back side of him, and around he will go. Maybe a little bit of net code involved there, but Braswell, immediately knowing that he got into the left rear quarter panel, will slow up and wait for Ferguson to jump on by. So tough break here, caution flag number 1 in the ABR heat race number 1 as we come back live. Pace truck looking out the backside here with the inside sim racing. The guy, crazy guy in the passenger seat hanging out the window, looking out the back here at the field as they work behind the pace car. You can see the slickness already starting to form in the corners, mainly on entry. You see it right here on the front stretch. That is where there is less grip than that darker brown, and where Blake Brown is running, that's above the cushion. You don't want to get up into that. That'll suck you right into these metal fencing around the Knoxville Raceway as they go on underneath the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame down the back stretch. So the pace truck going to cut back into the infield. We're going to come back here for heat race number 1 action. And Townsend was ready to go. He'll mash the gas, and here comes Braswell down to the inside in the turn number 1. They will come as they work off the corner. It'll be Townsend showing away, but here comes Braswell working the outside. He's ripping the lip in that Braswell Racing 18 JR as they work down here in the turn number 3 and 4 down the back stretch. Help try to cross them over down the back, down here the front stretch. Couldn't quite make it work as your top 4 cars have run out over the 427 of Ferguson. Top 4 cars starting to break apart here now as Townsend still leads as they got the cars. High flags are in. 4 to go. This time will be 3 laps to go off of turn number 4. Right now looks like a very high line dependent racetrack, but that will change as that outside line will move all the way up the racetrack. Braswell's going to have to jump on the binders to stay off the backside of the 28 of Brown, as that is the battle for your number 2 position. Down the front stretch they come. It'll be 2 laps to go in the ABR Setup Shop Heat Race number 1. Starting to fan down, Helton working the bottom of the racetrack. They work down the backstretch. Braswell trying to make a route move on the 828 of Brown. He will slide to the inside. Couldn't quite make a move that time off turn 4. This time by the white silk will fly. Final trip around the racetrack for the 38 of Townsend. Townsend working down here off the turn 4. We go on. We'll watch the driver work the hand in the turn number 3. Brown going to try to take one more effort down to the inside. Could nothing doing off of turn number 4. It'll be Townsend picking up the heat race win. Finishing second will be Brown. Braswell third, Helton fourth, and Ferguson will round out your top 5 here in heat race number 1. And just like that, we will move into heat race number 2. So heat race number 2 going to work here as they get ready to go. With this one this is your starting lineup for heat race number 2. Starting up on the front row will be car number 85. That is Ryan Mallory. Is Mallory going to start up on the front row? They're all in on the pit road there. I don't know what the truck is doing. Tyler Carter in car number 20. A driver out of Marion, Arkansas with a Mid-South Mafia team going to roll off in spot number 2. Skekky Thrash in car number 150 is going to roll off in your 3rd spot. And then right outside of him will be car number 44. That is Mike Stevenson. Stevenson in car number 150. Starting in row number 3 will be car number 669. That is the Nate Skinner automobile, part of the Hood Up racing team. And his out the right side, it will be the number 23. This is Matt George. Matt George will start 6th. And shotgun on the field in our second heat race will be last week's feature event winner, the car number 51. This is Jacob Lassiter. Lassiter, the driver of the 51 in the Max Green Milner Median Design, sponsored number 51 out of Dresden, Tennessee, will roll off shotgun here tonight as we get ready to go for another 8-lap contest for heat race number 2, brought to you by JDM Designs as we get ready to go once again. I want to thank you all for tuning on in out there. If it's your first time on the Turn 3 Racing Network, hit that subscribe button. Let these drivers know that you appreciate what they're doing for you. Hit that thumbs up if you're on the Facebook side. Follow us here on Turn 3 Racing Network and hit the thumbs up as the race flag will go green. Heat race number 2 is underway. Drag race down to turn number 1. Carter going to use the outside line. You see Mallory working the bottom up on the berm. He has to check up. That causes the 150 a thrash to go up the racetrack. He'll move up there. Now he's in the outside wall, and here comes George. George started 6th all the way up to 3rd in a matter of lap. As we got a challenge for your race lead down here in the turn number 1. Stevenson going to get on the backside of the 20 of Carter. No harm, no foul there as they keep it pointed in the right direction. But Carter showing the way. But here comes George. George will go to the inside, but yellow flag going to come out here. Is trouble at the back of the field. It looks like maybe Nate Skinner has gone around. I'm not quite sure what the yellow flag has come out for. But race officials not liking what they have seen out there. So lap number 2 will go to yellow flag here. As we saw the 150 of Thrash in the outside wall. Maybe a little bit of damage to that driver. The number 20 of Tyler Carter is your race leader. So quick yellow flag coming out here for heat race number 2, brought to you by JDM Designs. So the heat race number 2 going to get a yellow flag on the same lap as heat race number 1. As the lights go out, the field will double them back up here. That sun, we're going to go on board in car with your race leaders as we roll off there. You see the glare that they have coming off of turn number 2. That sun will go down behind the grandstands on the backstretch, but it makes it very tough to see here at the Knoxville Raceway. Is JDM heat race. JDM Designs heat race number 2 going to go back to the green flag. The pace truck will be down in the way, off into harm's way, and green flag is out, and Carter not wasting any time. He'll mash the gas and jump out to a 3-car length advantage down to the turn number 1. George going to do the slide job up the corner there to George. Going to hold on to that number 2 spot. He works the outside of the racetrack. Here comes Stevenson back to the inside. Can't quite make it work. They go door to door off of turn number 2 as they roar by the flag stand here to put lap number 3 into the books. 5 laps remain as Matt George, your hard charger, started back in the 6th position. He finds himself in 2nd. Is now Stevenson going to try to challenge him, this time off of turn number 4. Can't quite do it. Jacob Lasker, last week's feature event winner. He'll kiss the outside retaining wall down in the corner. Couldn't quite make anything move, but he is up 3 spots after starting 7th. Is Ryan Mallory back here. He'll do a side-by-side dance with a 150, a thrash down here in the turn number 3. George jumped the cushion a little bit down here off of turn number 4. He is going the wrong direction now. He caught the outside wall. You see the right rear quarter panel all wrinkled up on that number 23 Hood Up Motorsports entry as he works down the backstretch. Carter still showing away with 2 laps to go. We watch the battle for 3rd. Thrash now getting around Mallory as he works the bottom, now works up the racetrack, trying to run what I would consider a slider line. His left front tire will pick up off the ground, this time through turns 3 and 4. It'll be Tyler Carter going to get the white flag as he whips underneath the flag stand. Carter running a solid race, started on the outside pole, and it looks like he is going to go on to victory lane. 1 set of corners left to go as he enters turn number 3. Carter puts the right rear up against the cushion. He's going to hold on to the pretty wheel, and he will pick up the heat race 2 win for a JDM Design. Stevenson, George, Lassiter, your top 4, Thrasher, Mallory, and Skinner will round out heat race number 2 here tonight for the All-Star Racing Series at the Knoxville Raceway, presented by Autocraft Paint and Body Works here tonight as we take a look. 0, that is John Darby. Darby going to roll off on the pole. To his outside will be the 311 of Justin Holt. To his outside, it'll be Sean Kastritza. Kastritza in car number 46 will roll off 3rd. Starting to his outside will be car number 21. This is Kyle Vandergriff. Vandergriff in car number 21 going to roll off on the outside of row number 2. Sage Luther in car number 26 will roll off 5th. And shotgun on the field will be car number 37. This is Brandon Marlowe. 6 cars ready to do the dance for you as they work down the backstretch for heat race number 3, brought to you by FEGPC. Here is heat race number 3 coming at you here. Darby going to jump on the gas. A little contact there between Holt and Darby as they were ready to go. Green flag is up. No harm, no foul. Everybody still side by side down to turn number 1. Darby down low now slides up, gets the right rear momentum, but here comes the 30-11 of Holt. He'll take the top spot away down the backstretch in the turn number 3 for the first time in heat race number 3. Off of turn number 4 they will come. It'll be Holt picking up the heat race lap lead here in heat race number 3. Darby takes a move there. Vandergriff going to go from the outside down to the inside. He get me down to the lobby level. Now he'll slide back up. Slide job in the turn number 4. Now Darby crosses him back up. Contact off the corner. Darby out of sideways. He'll spin on the front stretch. Yellow flag coming out as John Darby will do the top dance here on the front stretch, and that car is wounded. Looks like maybe a little crab walk in there off the corner. We saw it live there, just was not clear, it looked like, off of the corner. Let's take a look at what happened off of turn number 4 for the number 00. Vandergrift slid up the racetrack, Darby down low. They come off the corner and just Darby just up the racetrack, it looks like, and maybe a little Vandergrift coming down as well. It's one of those tough spots to be in off of turn number 4. Let's go out. 00. If that don't make you dizzy, I don't know what will. As we come back live here, Darby came down pit road. They were able to pull the right rear sheet metal off that number 00. The good news is he did not lose a lap. His yellow flags are not counting here tonight at the Knoxville Raceway, so Darby will catch up to the field. But your race leader is this man, the 311 of Justin Holl. He started on the outside of the front row, and he has not let go of it after getting a nice run off the top side. You see how wide this track is getting, and I'm getting excited for heat race round number 2 of action, as we'll have the field will jumble themselves up after based on where they finish here in heat race number 1, or round number 1 I should say. This is heat race number 3. And we'll see how wide this track will get. They'll have a quick hot lap session before we get into our 50-lap main event here tonight. Pace truck down and away. We're going to be going green this time off turn number 4. The field in the hands of the 311 of Holt as they roll off of turn number 4. Green flag is up, and we are underway as they roll down the front stretch. Holt with a nice jump into turn number 2. They will roll the outside. Vandergrift works the outside as well as the 37 of Marlowe is going to move into third. Down in the corner, number 4, John Darby quickly on the move. He works underneath Kostritza into turn number 4. He'll work the bottom of the racetrack. That'll put Darby back to 4th, and he is not done yet. Down to the inside of Marlowe, he will go. Marlowe trying to hold on to that number 3 spot around the backstretch. He tries to figure out how to get around the number 21 of Vandergrift. As we look out the backside, the Irish and Fleetwood cannot work Campbell. Get our third place driver, Brandon Marlowe. Good battle now. It'll be the 00. Darby down to the inside. Couldn't quite make it stick. Now gets the moisture in the forward drive. Those drivers nose to tail in the turn number 1. Vandergrift up to all this happened in 1.2 seconds behind your race leader, who will be rolling in the turn number 4 this time by. Justin Holt will come off. He'll see the white flag. He has 1/2 mile to hold on to pick up the FEG heat race number 3. Down the backstretch he will roll. It'll be the number 311. Can he go to victory lane in heat race number 3? A driver out of White Oak, Texas with the Milner Media and Designs, DTJ, sponsored 311. He will pick up the heat race win. Vandergrift will hold on to second. Darby will come home third. Marlowe, Luther, and Kostritza will round out your third and final heat race of round number 1. So now we'll move into round number 2, where we'll have heat race number 1 getting gridded up here on the inside of pit road. So we take a look from high above the Autocraft Paint and Body Works. This is what your heat race number 4, round number 2. Heat race number 1 will be Larry Townsend up on the front row of this one. And car number 38 to his outside will be the driver, the number 28 out of Arkansas. This is the Autocraft Paint and Body Works Sim Motion Man Motorsports, Gary Beard Trucking. Car number 28, this is Blake Brown. James Braswell in car number 18 junior out of Marion, Arkansas, will roll off in spot number 3. Outside of him will be the driver of the number 6 of Jeff Helton. James Ferguson in 427 will roll off 5th, and shotgun on the field will be car number 75 of Andy Piercerfield. And Piercerfield not able to make the call once again here, so a little bit of troubles in the pits for the number 75. We hope he gets that figured out here for our feature event. But here we go with heat race number 4. As they will roll underneath there, it'll be Townsend and Brown up here on the front row of this one. So 5 cars answering the bell here for the ABR Setup Shops heat race number 4. ABR Setup Shop, full service setup shop, weekly official setups, custom individual subs, and individual coaching. Find out more at abrsetupshop.com. 12 laps is the distance for heat race number 4, and this is Townsend. He's going to jump on the gas pedal first. They'll race it down here in the turn number 1. Townsend with a nice jump. He's going to hold off Brown. Brown's going to roll into your number 2 spot. One car out of shape to the inside. That was Ferguson. He does not lose too much ground to the field as they work down here in the turn number 3 for the first time. Townsend going to hold on and pick up the race lead after lap number 1. Brown runs in your number 2 spot as they rip the lip there. That's Braswell in the 18 junior. We saw him have speed in the first round of heat races. Braswell now going to work underneath the 28 at Brown. They'll stay off each other off of the turn number 4. Now contact, and Blake Brown going to go turn sideways. Braswell as well will go around. And Brown's rear tires not on the ground here on the front stretch. He is stuck in the fence as we have stayed green so far. As now Townsend will come off turn number 4 and will stay green. No yellow flag, so tough break for the driver of the 28 of Brown as he has to take the tow as they roar down the back stretch. Townsend out front, that is separated the field. Helton will move into your number 2 spot. 3rd spot belongs to Ferguson. And then about a half a track is now the yellow flag will fly as James Braswell here. So the yellow flag going to come on out with a tough break and losing multiple laps in the pits. Was the 120 is the number 28 of Brown. So yellow flag going to come out as Larry Townsend had a sizable lead over the number 6 of Helton. Well, we got a minute here underneath the yellow flag. You are watching the All-Star Racing Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And it is brought to you by Autocraft Paint and Body Works, full-service auto collision shop located in Brooklyn, Arkansas at 989 Highway 49. Check them out at autocraftnea.com. Also brought to you by Alex Bergeron Racing Setups, an ABR setup shop here. And that is Alex Bergeron, the World Championship driver and multi-champion of the iRacing Pro Series. A full-service setup shop, weekly official setups, custom individual setups, and individual coaching. Find out more at abrsetupshop.com. And JDM Designs. You want your cars looking as good as these cars out there? Go to the official painter of the All-Star Racing Series at JDM Designs. We get ready to come back. Green flag race, and the pace truck going to stay out on the racetrack as they are underneath the yellow flag. We want to thank everybody for tuning on in here tonight on a Tuesday night. We hope you are enjoying yourself as much as we are here. As the cars will start to go back underneath the green flag, I believe this time by as the lights are out on the pace car, as we're going to go back green flag racing in ABR setup shop heat race number 4. Green flag going to be in the hands of Barney the Flagman. He will wave, and we are underway as they roll off at turn number 4. Townsend with a great jump down here in the turn number 1. He'll hold him off as Helton runs second. Braswell going to work the outside, carrying that left front tire as he found the moisture up on the outside of the Speedway. He has to reel it in here off of turn number 4. He'll hold on to that number 3 spot as they work down here with just 7 laps to go in our 4th heat race. This is the first one of round number 2. You've already missed your first set of heat races if you're just tuning on in. Where you been? As we've had great racing. Townsend showing the way. We watch Helton work through the corner. Then it is the number 18 of Braswell, Ferguson, and Blake Brown rounding out your running order so far here in heat race number 4. Townsend really works the corner really well. Let's go in and watch him work. Not much time off the throttle for the driver, that number 38. He'll work underneath the stripe. This time by only 4 laps to go in our heat race here as they work off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Townsend showing the way, but Helton is starting to reel him back in. That digs number 6, really starting to dig the outside of the racetrack and closing in on your race leader. Maybe a long run car for Helton. Now he got it down to underneath a half a second. That time a little bit of a push into turn number 2. They work down the backstretch, but Helton really starting to close in, running a very different line in your race leader as they work out the corner half second. Braswell still runs third. Ferguson in the 4th spot. And one lap in the arrears is the 28 of Blake Brown. He'll work to the outside of Ferguson as Townsend will show the way. This time off of turn number 4. It'll be the white flag here on the front stretch. 1 lap to go for Townsend. Helton going to show it down to the inside hill slide, trying to hook the moisture on the bottom of the racetrack. Couldn't do it that time off turn number 4. Townsend in the clear green here off of turn number 4. Checkered flag is up. Townsend is going to pick up heat race number 4 here tonight for the All-Star Racing Series. Jeff Helton runs in your number 2 spot. Braswell will come home 3rd. Ferguson, Brown, and Piercerfield unofficially round out your order here for heat race number 4 here tonight, as heat race number 5 starts to get gridded up here on the pit road. This will be your starting lineup for heat race number 5, and on the front row will be Tyler Carter in car number 20. To his outside will be car number 44. This is Mike Stevenson. Rolling off in the 3rd spot will be car number 23, the driver out of Conway, Arkansas, in the Noel Industries, TCH Truck Auto Repair, 913 Motorsports. This is Matt George. Matt George in car number 23. Starting to his right side will be car number 51, the driver out of Dresden, Tennessee, in the Max Green Milner Media and Design, sponsored number 51. This is Jacob Lassiter. Lassiter will roll off in spot number 4. Starting on the inside of row number 3, the driver of the number 150 automobile. This is Skeggy Thrash in car number 150. Starting to his outside will be car number 85. This is the driver of Ryan Mowry. Ryan Mowry in car number 85 going to roll off in spot number 6. And shotgun on the field was slated to go the driver out of Florida. This is Blake Doyle. Doyle unable to make the call, so 6 cars ready to do battle for 12 more laps of heat race action here tonight in the JDM Designs heat race number 5. pace truck going to go to the safe place of the infield as Carter will jump on the gas pedal. Stevenson not ready to go. He's going to lose 2 spots here down the front stretch. As now the 51 of Lassiter going to work underneath them. As they work off the corner down the back stretch for the first time. It is George in second. As the battle for third was shaping up as they enter turn number 3. 23 and George slides up. This is the outside wall. Hold on to your number 2 spot as Carter picking up where he found off in heat race number 2 with your race lead. George starting to close him in though. Matt George showing speed here tonight. He'll slide it down to the inside in the turn number 3. Couldn't make the move on him, but he is there knocking on the doors. Now Lassiter going to take a bit to the inside as they work down here in the turn number 1. Lassiter will swing it back to the outside. He runs in your 4th spot. Thrash runs in 5th. And Mallory rounds out your field in car number 8815. Carter still leads the way about a half second over the 23 of George with now 9 laps to go. As they work down the backstretch. Close they are getting to that outside wall there. Track getting very, very wide here as we take a look from high above with the ABR setup shops. Speed or camera here, the blimp cam from high above turn number 4 now as it circles the racetrack. Great battles all the way around. You see the different lines. Everybody really utilizing the outside of that racetrack. That will change as when we get into feature time. Mark my words, as this track usually will widen out. We'll have guys hugging down the curb. We'll have guys running the outside, and some will just run right through the middle. And there'll be 3 and 4 wide for you in heat race or in feature action coming on up here just a little bit. George starting to reel them in with 6 laps to go. 6 are in, 6 to go here in this 12-lap heat race number 5 for the JDM Designs. Off a turn number 4 they will go. It'll be the number 20 of Carter showing the way. George in your number 2 spot. He is all over the back bumper. We go on board with the race leader. Starting to feel the pressure from the number 23 of George. Down the front straight, they will cross underneath there. It'll be 4 laps to go. George up the racetrack. He's going to kiss the outside wall up above the cushion. Now crosses it over off of turn number 2. Down to the inside. Slide job from George up to the outside. He'll get loose. Carter's going to cut it down low. They'll make contact off the corner. George hard in the outside wall. No love lost there as now the yellow flag will fly from the 23 of George, who went through the spin cycle off of turn number 4. Virtue of contact. Let's take a look and see here. And we see it already in action there with the contact between the 23 of Carter and Matt George here. Let's take a look down here to see George up the racetrack, and then this bulldozes through the 20 of Tyler Carter. George was a little bit out of shape there. It's a little bit just door contact off that corner. Let's take one more look at it. See George get a little bit sideways, come down the racetrack. It's Carter hard in the gas, and that sends the number 23 around. As we come back to live pictures here. So Tyler Carter is your race leader. Stevenson runs in second. Lassiter up to third. Thrash runs in the 4th spot. 5th spot belongs to Matt George, and the 815 of Ryan Mowry rounds out your 6th and final car on the racetrack. Blake Doyle unable to make the start here in heat race number 5, brought to you by JDM Designs. Lights are out around the racetrack. We'll be going green flag this time off turn number 4. It'll be a 3-lap shootout to settle this one out. Green flag is up. Single file restart. We are back underway. Carter's going to jump on the gas pedal first. Second, Stevenson about 5 car lengths back as they work through turns 1 and 2 and down the backstretch. Lassiter starting to make a move there as he works off the corner behind Stevenson. You see Lassiter in the 51 starting to make some ground up for your number 2 position. He'll cut the car down low, get through the slick. Can he make the move on Stevenson? At the line, Lassiter up the second. Carter runs in your number 1 spot. And look at the 51 rip the bottom of the racetrack. He is digging down low. Lassiter going to go where everybody is not running. Carter's going to go down through the middle. Off of turn number 4, they will come. Lassiter with the momentum on the inside, but it'll be Carter at the line. Lassiter second, Stevenson third, and a photo finish. Thrash will come home in your number 2 spot. George and Mowry will round out your running order here for heat race number 5. As we will move into our 6th and final heat race of the evening. 12 laps will be the distance here tonight. Once it goes through there. So there we go. That will be done with heat race number 5. Heat race number 6 getting ready to come to the racetrack. And starting on the front row will be the driver out of Texas, the number 311. It is DTJ Milner Media Designs, car number 311 of Justin Holl. Starting to his outside will be car number 21 out of Marion, Arkansas, in the D Memphis Grizzlies. It is the number 21 of Kyle Vandergriff. Starting third on the field out of Drummond's, Tennessee, in the Hood Up Rocket JDM Designs, sponsored 00. This is John Darby. Brandon Marlowe in car number 37 out of Dexter, Missouri, in the team DTJ Milner Media and Design, sponsored 37. This is Brandon Marlowe. Starting 5th on the grid in car number 26 out of North Platte, Nebraska, in the unsponsored automobile, looking for sponsorship. If you want to get on board with someone, this is the driver to do it with. The number 26, this is Sage Luther. Sage Luther in car number 26. Starting on the outside of road number 3 in the number 46, it is Sean Kostritza out of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, in the Fanatec sponsored car number 46. And shotgun on the field out of Collinsville, Illinois, in the Certified Power Solutions, car number 669. This is Nate Skinner. 7 cars ready to do battle for you here as they pace underneath the yellow flag for the final time. The Barney the Flagman going to give them the 1 lap to go signal here for our 6th and final heat race of the evening. And this is going to be a barn burner. After this, we will have a short intermission break where the drivers will have the final chance to tune on their race cars before going to the battle for 50 laps here around the Knoxville Raceway. For you race fans out there, we thank you for tuning on in. Holt in the 311 going to jump on the gas pedal first, this time off of turn number 4. Green flag is out. And we are racing in the FBGPC heat race number 6. Darby going to jump it down to the inside. He's going to try to hook the bottom of the racetrack. Darby up to that 3rd spot as he works underneath the 37 of Marlowe. Marlowe works the outside of the racetrack. Holt's going to hold on to your race lead. That's a great battle for 3rd. As now Vandergriff going to work the outside as Marlowe going to as well. Starting to see that 2 lines start to shape up. Darby really works the bottom of the racetrack entering turn number 3. He's running through the slick, kind of gets the car pointed, and right down to the moisture off the corner. He's making it work as he runs in that 3rd spot. Up front, Holt showing the way as he is on the loud pedal hard as now Darby will miss the bottom slightly. That allows the 37 of Marlowe to get back to the inside. As that is a great battle for this 3rd spot as they work off turn number 4. Darby in that Rocket Racing setups. Car number 00 really works the bottom of the racetrack, trying to make a move on the 37 of Marlowe. Marlowe's now got the 37 wound up on the outside. He holds on to that third spot as he looks to chase down Vandergrift. Back there in the fifth spot is the 26 of Luther. Kostritza and Skinner rounding out your field as now Marlowe starting to feel the pressure once again. See what going down here. Almost contact that time off turn number 4 as Darby got the bottom hooked once again. He's going to try to slide up. He cannot do it. He'll be even with him off of turn number 2. But the momentum on the outside too strong for Marlowe. Now a slide. John couldn't quite clear him as he has to check up. Darby on the inside had the check up there as we're 6 laps in, 6 laps to go in our final heat race competition of the evening. Darby misses the bottom. That's going to allow Marlowe to pull open a few car gap down the backstretch here in the turn number 3. Darby back to the outside. Luther running the outside of the racetrack. He's closing in on this battle. Now Luther starting to close in on Darby. To the outside, Luther will go as they work off of the corner. Luther now works the outside. He's got a momentum off of turn number 2. Where did Sage Luther come from? He comes to the bottom of the racetrack. Darby up high. Luther going to try his bid down low. Can he make it stick off turn number 4? 4 laps to go as this is a great battle for the third spot. Now they switch lanes. Luther will go to the outside. Darby went down to the bottom as they roar down the backstretch. Little mud in your face when you watch the 26 Luther work there as Vandergrift now starting to roll in with 3 laps to go, 1.5 seconds behind Holt at the line. Let's show you their last lap time. We see who was fastest last time by. Holt rounding a 19.2, a 19.3 for Vandergrift. Their fastest driver on the racetrack is your current race leader who's working off a turn number 4. He'll see the white silk will fly. Final lap around the half mile here at Knoxville. Down in the turn number 1 and 2 they go for the final trip down the backstretch. Big on the sim motion onboard camera. Race leader coming up on the 669 and Skinner Holl working the inside. Checkered flag is up though. This heat race is in the books. Holt gonna win it. Vandergrift will finish 2nd. 3rd will go to Marlowe. Darby will settle for 4th. Luther 5th. Kostritza will come home in the 6th spot. And rounding out the field will be the 669 of Skinner here, as that's all unofficial. As what all we have now is our 50-lap feature event coming up at you momentarily. These drivers are going to do a quick warm-up period, and as they do that, we're going to step away here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. You're watching the All-Star Racing Series presented by Autocraft Paint and Body Works.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back. Here is Hot Laps are still underway. Just about a minute left to go. And we want to thank everybody for tuning on in here tonight to the Turn 3 Racing Network for the All-Star Racing Series presented by Autocraft Paint and Body Works. We want to thank those guys. They're located in Brooklyn, Arkansas. They are a full-service auto collision shop. Tell them the All-Star Racing Series sent you if you get into one of those unfortunate fender benders. Also, I want to thank ABR Setup Shop. Full service setup shop, weekly official setups, custom individual setups, and individual coaching. For more information, head to abrsetupshop.com. JDM Designs. You want to look as good as these late models do out here tonight? Look up JDM Designs. They'll get you hooked up, painted, look up fresh, and looking ready to go on the racetrack. We want to thank them for everything that they do for the All-Star Racing Series. We also want to thank the FEGPC, that is the Ford Entertainment Group, also known as FEGPC, specialized in sim racing and sim flight gaming machines. With over 4,500 PCs built for sim racers and sim flight pilots, you can be assured of a PC that is maximized and tuned to your specific sim. Sim Motion, your one-stop shop for sim rigs, chassis, pedals, wheels, anything to do with sim racing. It is us.sim-motion.com. Sim Motion. Inside Sim Racing at isrtv.com. And that means it is time for feature event racing here tonight. 50 all green flag laps coming at you. And this is what your starting lineup will look like. Starting up on the front row, we saw him very fast in his heat race competition. The driver of the number 38 out of Van Buren, Arkansas, in the Rocket Setup Shop. Number 38, this is Larry Townsend. Starting to his outside out of Marion, Arkansas, in the Braswell Trucking. Car number 20, this is Tyler Carter. Justin Holt in car number 311 will roll off in that number 3 spot. Outside of him will be the number 4 of Jeff Helton. Jeff Helton going to roll off 4th. Outside of him, or inside of row number 3 in car number 51 out of Dresden, Tennessee, in the Max Green Milner Media and Design sponsored number 51. This is Jacob Lassiter. Kyle Vandergriff in car number 21 out of Marion, Arkansas will roll off in the 6th spot. 7th spot will go to the 18 JR of James Braswell in the Braswell Trucking, car number 18 out of Marion, Arkansas. Starting on the outside of him will be car number 44. The driver hails out of Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is Mike Stevenson. Brandon Marlowe in car number 37. He will roll off in the 9th spot. Outside of him, rounding out your top 10, will be the number 427 of James Ferguson. Rounding out your starting order will be the 150 of Skeggy Thrash. Outside of him will be John Darby in car number 00. Blake Brown will relegate from the 13th spot. Matt George to his outside. Sage Luther, Andy Petersfield in car number 75. Ryan Mallory and Sean Kostritza. Shotgun on the field. Looks like 17 of the 18 cars have taken to there as we go 4 wide for you drivers here tonight underneath the pace slaps. As we salute you, the race fans, we present you the full fendered warriors of the All-Star Sim Racing League here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. A beautiful sight as they pace here around the racetrack to give you this is the flash bulb photography going crazy here at the Knoxville Raceway. We salute you, the race fans, for tuning on in, as this is going to be 50 laps of green flag racing coming at you. We thank you for tuning on in here tonight. The All-Star Racing Series definitely thanks you for being a part of their night here at Knoxville Raceway, as they will roll around underneath the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, as they will get back to double file here and get ready to show you how they get it done here. As they roll down the back stretch and in the turn, they'll get an even rows of 2 now, and they will get ready to go green flag racing. They catch the pace truck. Can you believe the sight you just had? If that doesn't get you excited, race fans, I think you need to check to see if you have a pulse. I paid for the seat. I'm not even using it here at the Knoxville Raceway. Hopefully you got your popcorn not all over the floor. If not, you have to get the vacuum cleaner there and get that all cleaned up. But we are getting ready to go green flag racing here tonight for the All-Star Sim Racing Series feature event. 50 laps is the distance. Townsend and Carter up on the front row. Then is Helton and Holt in row number 2. Lassiter going to come from that third spot. Remember, he won 1 week ago at the Cedar Lake Speedway. Comes in. Let's take a look at the points before we go green flag racing. This is your championship standings coming into the night. Does not count the heat race action you have already saw. So that has changed based on the heat races, but we are ready to go. Green flag pace truck down and in. We're going to go green flag this time off turn number 4. And Townsend's going to jump on the loud pedal. We are live in green for the 50-lap feature event for the All-Star Racing Series. Fanning out 3 and 4 wide throughout the field. You see them 3 wide down the back stretch. Now double file it in there. Chains for your race lead as the 311 of Holt's going to go underneath them. Townsend going to tuck it back low. And at the line, Townsend by a car length going to hold on to that race lead. Down here in the turn number 1, they go. Townsend is going to go to the outside. That allows the 311 of Holt. They're going to exchange it down here in the turn number 3. It'll be Holt going to slide across the nose. Townsend going to turn the car sideways, tuck it down low, and rocket ship down the front stretch. But Holt is going to be your race leader. A little bit deeper back in the field here. The 18 of Branswell works right to the 21 of Vandergrift. They work behind the 20 of Tyler Carter as they roll down the back stretch. 3 wide down there. Carter's in the outside fence. He'll keep it pointed in the right direction. We stay green so far. A little bit of contact there between the 18 of Branswell and Vandergrift is now the 37 of Marlowe. He's starting to make it work to the inside. He's got the 51 of Lassiter. Lassiter in trouble. He'll spin it sideways in turn number 2. And yellow flag coming out, the first yellow flag of the evening. Coming out for the spinning car of the number 51. Jacob Lassiter, and that will bring spell disaster for your points leader coming into the night. Let's take a look at that once again. Looked like just hard racing. Lassiter taking a look down to the inside ahead of him, 3 wide in front of him. Oh, the 37 of Marlowe gets sideways, and Lassiter just clips him in the left rear and then gets up on the berm and into the door of the 115 of Thrash. Let's take another look here. Let's go in car with the 51 of Lassiter. Lucky no one else was involved there. We'll take one more look at it as they roll off the corner. You see them 3 wide there. Carter and Marlowe make contact. That gives them all the momentum for Marlowe's shot. And then Milt, the 51 of Lassiter, nowhere to go. And he ends up in the spin cycle here tonight. He'll get pointed back in the right direction, rejoin the field at the back of it. So a long way to go for the 51 of Jacob Lassiter. But how about these guys up on the front row? The 311 of Holt and Townsend were throwing haymakers early on in this feature event. And finally, the 311 of Justin Holt going to be your race leader. He's got the number 38 Townsend outside, Jeff Helton and Braswell in row number 2. Then it'll be the 21 of Vandergriff and the 37 of Marlowe in row number 3. Green flag area to come back out as they go through the restart zone. Green is back up. Holt's going to jump the gas pedal, but a nice drag race down here in the turn number 1. Holt down to the inside. He'll wash up the racetrack, but here comes the momentum from the 38 of Townsend. Townsend rolls the outside. He'll hit the hooks down in the turn number 3 to stay off the backside of the 311 Holt. That allows Braswell there. Is Holt now Townsend in the outside wall. Townsend scraped the outside wall. He'll lose 2 positions, make it 3 now as the number 37 of Marlowe works underneath them. Townsend headed in the wrong direction. They worked off a turn number 2 down the back stretch. It's Holt up on the front of this one. Is a great battle for your number 2 spot. Is the number 6 of Helton. Works to the bottom of the racetrack. Now we'll lose some ground to Braswell as he missed the bottom in the turn number 3. Off of turn number 4, they come still side by side as Marlowe starting to work the bottom of the racetrack. Townsend getting the car wound up on the outside as he's got the 21 of Vandergriff right in the back side of that number 37. One car up in the fence, that's the 26 of Luther. He runs in your 9th position as they hear one car on the inside curve. That was Townsend. A wild ride for Townsend, but we keep it green as they're 3 wide down the backstretch. Now Townsend's going to get hit the outside wall and up on top of Stevenson and stuck in the fence is the 38 of Townsend. Larry Townsend's night gone from bad to worse as he's stuck in the outside catch fence in turn number 3. Let's take a look and see what happened to Townsend to bring out this yellow flag. Tim gets sideways there off the corner in the middle of 1 and 2. That allows the 00 of Darby. He just walks up the racetrack. Townsend does. And the 44 of Stevenson with a head of steam. And the 38 just up into the side of him. Let's take one more look at that from the blimp cam. You see them get sideways. They come off the corner. He just works up the racetrack. And the 44 was just there, maybe into the right rear quarter panel. But just tough racing there. Nothing that either driver could have done different except for maybe lift or roll out of the throttle. And that all happens too quick. Let's go back and watch it from number 44 of Stevenson's in car. You could hear the throttle as soon as the 38 of Townsend started coming up the racetrack. The 44 of Stevenson lifted, but it was a little bit too late there, and they just were unfortunate, able to make contact and couldn't stay off each other as the lights go out as the field paces by turn number 1. So Matt George in the pits as well. Larry Townsend is going to join him as they work on getting their cars repaired here tonight for this feature event. But up on the front row now is Holt and Braswell. Marlowe, Helton in row number 2. Vandergriff and Darby in row number 3. Row number 4 is going to be Stevenson and Luther. Rounding out your top 10 is Tyler Carter in the 150 of Thrash as he works up through the field. Green flag is back out. Restart down here in the turn number 1. Bill working through the corner off of turn number 2. They will come. It'll be Holt jumping out to race lead, but Brandon Marlowe starting to work the bottom of the racetrack. This track getting extremely wide as they work. See how wide it is as they work down the front stretch. 10 laps, working lap number 10 is Niner in the books. Marlowe works the bottom of the racetrack, the outside of the racetrack evenly around here. Now Marlowe's going to come up to block the advances. Oh, the 21 of Vandergriff. Vandergriff back to the cushion as Marlowe going to work it down low. Stevenson back here working a great battle with the number 26 of Luther. And Tyler Carter right there close to tow. One driver on the move is the number 28 of Blake Brown. He is up to your 10th spot, and that's number 28 as he works down here in the turn number 3 and 4. The car right behind him, the 51 of Laster. Remember, he was involved in our first yellow flag. He is starting to make his way back up through the field. as they work around the racetrack. Crew update on Townsend. He was able to get back out on the racetrack, and he is not down a lap to your race leaders. Matt George still on pit road, and Pearsonfield unable to figure out the electrical issues on the 75 here tonight. He will relegate for the 18th position. Business starting to pick up here on the front. On board your race leader, James Holl, as he's got the 18 of Braswell closing in on him. They've got trouble as the 150 of Thrash has gone around. Yellow flag coming out for the 150. He gets it pointed back in the right direction. That's going to be a godsend for the number 38 of Townsend. Let's see what happened to bring out this yellow flag. See him working the bottom of Lassiter down the back stretch. Let's see, goes down into the corner, misses the bottom, and oh, Ferguson just nowhere to go. Tags him and up the racetrack, and that will bring out the yellow flag. One more look at it down the back stretch. You see the 150, a Thrash goes in the corner and then up, and then Ferguson just gets him in the left rear, and around he will go. And that'll bring out our third yellow flag of the evening. That'll put Townsend back into this one as he closes the gap as he came back out of the pits and was almost a half a track behind everybody else. That'll put him back into this as you number 38 fans out there. Larry Townsend is on the lead lap. Matt George in the 23, the only car on pit road right now when that car is getting fixed there. So not sure what happened underneath the hood of the 23, but he is in on pit road. But we're going to go back green flag racing this time with 13 laps completed of the 50 scheduled. Holt and Braswell going to jump on the gas pedal. Everybody else going to jockey for a position down the front stretch. They will roar. Yeah, everybody doing a good job as Marlowe now going to work to the bottom side of the 21 of Vandergrift. That is a battle as we got them 2 by 2 back here from fourth on back. Early stages of this race, and we've seen Holt jumping out to your race lead over the number as we watch this battle for your number 3 spot. Marlowe really works the bottom of the racetrack very well. 21 of Vandergrift working the outside. Is maybe now the bottom starting to come in. You see the 37 really roll the bottom on board with the sim motion on board camera. Patience to roll the bottom like he is doing as he works through the corner for the 37 of Marlowe, and he is coming. Marlowe closing in on your race leaders, doing it now. Vandergrift sees that he is making the bottom work, so he tries to go down there as well. Last time by at the line, Brandon Marlowe was the fastest car on the racetrack. Misses it a little bit that time in turn number 1 is now the battle for your race lead starting to shape up as the 18 of Braswell slumps flying by paint and bodywork speed can. As your top 4 start to break it out, we'll come back here and watch this battle as it's being led by the 6th of Helton. He's got John Darby trying to cut to his inside. This is the battle for 5th. Give Darby 5th now. Luther right there behind him in car number 26. He's trying to make it by the number 6 of Helton. Helton going to charge back on the outside of Darby as they work down here in the turn number 3. Track wide and out. Oh, contact between Luther and Helton. Everybody able to keep it pointed in the right direction as they work down here in the front stretch. Closing in on the halfway point as this battle is Luther's going to change lanes down the inside. He got some nice momentum down the backstretch into turn number 3. Back to the outside, Luther will go. Can he make a move on the number 6 of Helton? Right behind him, Larry Townsend making his way back towards the front of the field as he's made it back to 7th. 8th or 9th spot is Blake Brown as he works the bottom of the racetrack with a very beautifully prepared number 28. He'll work it down low up the racetrack into the moisture. Heavy right side damage on that 28. One spot behind him is the 20 of Tyler Carter. Then it is the number 44 of Stevenson. And a great battle back here is Ryan Mallory starting to roll forward in the 8:15 as he rolls the bottom of the racetrack. He's trying to get around the 46 of Kostritza. Kostritza working the outside of the racetrack. Now the 8:15 runs the middle of the racetrack. Right behind them is Thrash in the 150. And rounding out the cars on the lead lap is the number 427 of Ferguson. In trouble for your points leader, Jacob Lassiter has taken it pit side. As we come back to your race lead, next time by the cross flags will be up. It'll be 25 in the books. 25 laps remain in night number 2 of the All-Star Racing Series presented by Autocraft Paint and Body Works. Stevenson and Carter starting to do battle as we go to that off of turn number 2. Townsend starting to close in on the backside of Luther. Right behind them, these guys are duking it out. Stevenson now has moved into 10th, knocking Carter outside of the top 10. As they work down the backstretch, Jeff Helton and Sage Luther starting to do battle. Helton really rolls the bottom that time into turn number 1. A little bit of a connection issue there as you watch the 26 of Luther working the outside of the racetrack. As Helton really rolls the bottom pretty good. Up front is still Holt, 1.3 seconds back is Braswell. Then you got to go another second back to get to the number 37 of Marlowe. As your top 4 drivers have really spaced themselves out. We watch the best battle on the racetrack. Luther up in the outside fence. That's going to allow the SRI number 6 of Helton to move into the 6th position. Taking a look down as this track really widens out, as you see from high above with the Autocraft Paint and Body Works blimp camera from very high up above the Knoxville Raceway. How just wide this track is and how much this track has worn in. As we come back in on your race leaders, he works into turn number 3. He's got the 427 of Ferguson right there in front of him. As James Holt roars down the front stretch, it'll be 20 laps to go. Holt working the backside of Ferguson. Ferguson's going to go back to the inside. That'll allow the outside, the preferred line for your race leader, but he's got heavy lap traffic in front of him. As we go on the inside, Sim Racing on board camera. Get loose there. He gets out of the way of the race leader. No harm, no foul. As Braswell trying to close in on him, as now Carter and Stevenson will battle in front of your race leader down here in the turn number 3. 12 cars left on the lead lap. Next driver to go down one will be the 815 of Maury. You see him right there at the top of your screen. That is your race leader coming in on this battle for 10th. Ryan Mallory doing a good job running the bottom of the racetrack with the 31 of Holt. He has pulled the trigger here tonight, and he is out on the front of this one on cruise control, working the outside of the racetrack, and he'll move around Mallory. So put Mallory one lap to the arrears behind your race leader. $16 laps to go. This field really starting to stretch out as Braswell works around Thrash. He'll have to encounter the same lap traffic as your race leader. He gets in the outside wall, and Marlowe is starting to catch him. Marlowe working the bottom of the racetrack. He'll work underneath the number 427 of Ferguson. Ferguson up the racetrack. So Marlowe has not given up on the bottom side of the racetrack as he starts to close in on that number 2 position of Braswell. These drivers, one car is facing the wrong way. That was the 44 of Stevenson. And Mike Stevenson is sitting backwards on the front stretch. He's going to turn that number 44 around. We will hike and find out. Heavy front end damage to that number 44. Is our 4th yellow flag of the evening going to come out as we take a look at the replay here tonight to see what happened to Mike Stevenson. See him here running through the corner. Oh, just got in the outside wall there. Stayed on it. Oh, and oh, your race leader was involved. Your race leader was involved on this one. Heavy front end damage. Let's go on board. Looking out the back. You see the race leader behind the number 44, Stevenson. Got the wall and is up in the racetrack. Nowhere to go. So tough break. That was a solo incident, and then the 311 of Holl making contact. See the right side damage, a little bit of left front damage on the number 311. Milner Media and Design sponsored number 311. See him working the car back and forth. Gotta wonder if that car took any suspension damage in that exchange. Have to wonder about that here in the later stages of this one. That's going to allow the 18 junior of Braswell to close in on the backside of him as well. See him feeling, shaking the car out, see if it's hurt. We know Holt has had the best car so far in this feature event. Can he hold on to it? That shakes things up as the lights go out around the racetrack. We'll get you your current running order. Up on the front, it is a 311 of Justin Holt. To his outside will be the 18 of Braswell. Marlowe runs in spot number 3. 4th will go to Vandergriff. Darby runs 5th. 6th is Luther. Helton 7th. Townsend up to your 8th spot. Blake Brown 9th. And Tyler Carter rounding out your top 10. Mallory is your last car on the lead lap, as getting the free pass was the number 815 of Ryan Mallory, as yellow lights will stay out onto the racetrack. So not going green this time by. Tough break for the driver of the 51 of Lassiter. He is out of the race. They've had to take that car behind pit wall. So Lassiter, last week's feature event winner, on the trailer early. Tough break for that driver out of Dresden, Tennessee. It'll be a long ride home from Iowa. Green flag, getting ready to come back out. It'll be 14 laps to go when they cross the stripe. Holt and Braswell getting on the gas pedal, and Holt jumps on the loud pedal. That's going to bring Mallory to the inside of Braswell. They'll go door to door down here in the turn number 1. Nathan Marlowe working down to the inside. Brandon Marlowe works to the inside as he now has second spot. Bedford third. Darby works to the inside. Contact to the 21 of Vandergriff. Going to go around. Luther involved as well. Big trouble off the turn number 4. Yellow flag coming out, and tough break for the driver who was second in the runnings, as now Luther sits turtled in turn number 3. He's going to have to take the tow as we are back underneath the yellow flag once again for yellow flag number 5. Let's take a look back here and see what happened, as that was a big one in turn number 3. See See him working down here into the corner to 18 Junior O. Got in the outside wall, and then Vandergriff nowhere to go. Luther hard into the backside of Vandergriff, and up and over goes to number 26 of Luther. So Sage Luther going to go upside down. Let's take another look here from high above with the ABR setup shop drone cam. You see the contact there between Vandergriff and the 18 of Braswell. And everybody else is jumping on the binders, trying to stay off of each other. What a tough break for the driver out of Marion, Arkansas, in the Braswell Trucking, car number 18 of James Braswell. He was running in the second spot, but being involved with that yellow flag is going to move him to the rear of the field. So Marlowe now going to be on the outside of the 31 of Holl. Does he have anything for him? We saw Marlowe work in the bottom of the racetrack all race long. And now he's got to start on the outside. How about John Darby all the way up into your number 3 spot? Vandergriff runs fourth. Green flag is up. We are back underway, and a nice restart from Holt. Marlowe going to work the middle of the racetrack. Is Darby going to dive it down low? John Darby starting to roll towards the front. Darby's going to take that number 2 spot away from the 37 of Marlowe. Darby not done yet. He's going to try to go underneath the 311 of Holt, but Holt's going to hold on to it off of turn number 4. 12 laps to go. Is now a good battle for your number 2 spot. Darby works the bottom of the racetrack as Marlowe works up high. And how about Helton up to your number 4 spot? He's closing in. And this man from the back of the field up to 5th as he will clear the 21 of Vandergriff. That's the 38 of Townsend. Townsend working his way up towards the front. Going driver out of shape. I believe that was the 28 of Blake Brown. Everybody doing a good job to stay off of him. As we got a bid for your race lead off of turn number 2. Action all the way around the Knoxville Raceway is now John Darby slides it down low as the 311 a hole up the outside into the cushion off of turn number 4. Down the front stretch they go. It'll be 10 laps to go here tonight in this feature event for the All-Star Racing Series. Holt going to try to hold on to be the second driver to win in series history here as they work to the bottom. Holt down to the inside now, or in front of Darby. Down the front stretch they come. Who's it going to be at the stripe? It'll be Holt. Holt trying to down low as he sees how well it is. Here comes Darby down to the inside. Darby and Marlowe going to make contact. Tough break, and now Marlowe goes around. Marlowe around off of turn number 2. And we are slowed again with 9 laps to go. We saw the contact between the 37 and the 00 at Darby. And that will bring out our yellow flag, number 6. As that action for your race lead was hot and heavy. Let's go back and look at this one. See, Darby gets into the corner, gets to the corner. Marlowe got through the corner a little bit better. Slight contact. He checks up and Helton nowhere to go. Couldn't get on the binders quick enough. And the Milner Media Designs, number 37 of Marlowe, going to get pointed back into the right direction. But a tough break. Let's go on board. It's already happened there for Brandon Marlowe. So not the way he wanted to have that happen, as he's going to be relegated back here towards the back of the field. Looks like Mike Stevenson going to get back on the lead lap as he's going to come up through the field. Get waved around here underneath this yellow flag. So Stevenson going to get back on the lead lap. That will put 13 drivers on the lead lap. Once again, on behalf of the All-Star Racing Series presented by Autocraft Paint and Body Works, we want to thank you for tuning on in here to the Turn 3 Racing Network for their second race of their season here tonight at the Knoxville Raceway. If it's your first time on the YouTube side tuning into the Turn 3 Racing Network, hit that subscribe button. Get notified every time that we go live with the All-Star Racing Series here on Tuesday nights or any other time during the week. We are your one-stop shop for everything sim racing. We have everything under the sun, from dirt tracks to the short track asphalt, to the high banks of Daytona, to the road courses, all over the place. It is everything sim racing right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. 7 days a week. You like racing, we are your place to be. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're on the YouTube side, hit that like on the page as well. Mash the thumbs up. Let these drivers know that you are appreciating the efforts they are putting on for you here tonight at the Knoxville Raceway for round number 2 of the All-Star Sim Racing Series, presented by Autocraft Paint and Body Works. Ready to go back to the restart. Single file restarts with under 10 laps to go. Holt and Darby up on the front row. The pace truck getting out of the way, and Holt's going to jump on the gas pedal and try to win the red drag race down the front stretch. One car bit into the inside of Jeff Helton. That is the 38 of Townsend. Townsend's got to look to the inside down here off of turn number 2. Can't quite do anything with him yet as Helton holds on to it. Rick Holt jumps up to the race lead. Holt gonna leave the outside open now, as now he tries to take the line away from Darby with 8 laps to go, make it 7 at the line. The hourglass quickly coming to an end, but John Darby, don't tell him that as he works the bottom of the racetrack. He's trying to make a move on the 311 of Holt. Can the driver out of Drummond's Tennessee take it to victory lane here tonight? Off of turn number 4, they will come. 6 laps to go. Darby within striking distance. He'll go back to the bottom of the racetrack, kind of the middle this time. Helton down low on the cushion on the inside berm, as now your top 3 start to fade it out. Back here in the back of the pack, we got Thrash working the outside of Stevenson, and Luther back on the racetrack in the 26. He's got it pointed back in the right direction. Luther on the lead lap as well. 15 cars out on the racetrack on the lead lap. One car on the outside. Contact between the 427 of Ferguson, and he'll hit the outside wall with 5 laps to go. We stay green. Holt's going to come off turn number 4. Big flash by the Autocraft. Speed shot. Darby down to the inside. This time off of turn number 2. Can he make it stick on the backstretch? Not this time. Half second back is the 00 of Darby. Helton right there as well. If these two drivers make a mistake as the battle for 4th races on, it'll be 3 laps to go at the line. Kyle Vandergriff works the inside of the 38 of Townsend. Townsend might have used his tires up coming from the back of the field, the round in that 4th spot. How about John Darby from the 10th spot all the way up, or from the 12th spot to 2nd, looking for more. This time by the Rabbit Ears will be up. 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go. Now they'll go to the inside. Darby runs down low in 1 and 2 as Holt runs the outside. Then down the backstretch they will come. It'll be Holt going to the bottom. They all go to the bottom. Helton really reeling in the 00 of Darby now. This time by will be the white flag lap as they come down here to the final chip around. Holt runs the bottom of the racetrack. He'll work the inside line off a turn number 2 and down the backstretch for the final time. In the turn number 4 they will come. Side by side for 2nd. Contact back there, but it'll be Holt at the line. It'll be the Justin Holt 311 picking up the win. Helton will come home 2nd. Darby 3rd. Townsend will come home 4th. Vandergriff, Braswell, Marlowe, Brown, Luther, and Carter rounding out your top 10 as the fireworks are going off here at the Knoxville Raceway. Your top 3 drivers will pull down here on the front stretches. The fireworks in abundance on the racetrack and in the sky as this one has come to a close, as they will park it down here on the front stretch. The 311 is your race winner unofficially. Coming home in 2nd will be Helton. Darby in 3rd. Townsend with a round of applause to that fella coming home in the 4th spot. Vandergriff, Braswell, Marlowe, Brown, Luther, and Carter, your top 10. Maury will come home 11th. Thrash in 12th. Stevenson, Kostritza, Ferguson will round out the cars left running here tonight. Lassiter out early, unfortunately, along with the 23 of George and Peasterfield will round out the 18-car field here tonight. Well, with that being said, we'll be right back here. We're going to go to a quick break and get into our Autocraft Paint and Body Works post-race show coming right up here tonight from the the Knoxville Raceway.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams, race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12-Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to the Knoxville Raceway, where you have just watched the All-Star Sim Racing League presented by Autocraft Paint and Bodyworks, ABR Setup Shop, JDM Designs, FEGPC, Sim Motion, Inside Sim Racing. As we come back here to live pictures on the front stretch, we are going to get ready to go into our post-race show. We're going to stop down here into Victory Lane for the first time this season. It'll be the driver of the 311. It is Justin Holl. And Justin, man, your car looked like on rails out there tonight, but talk about how difficult and how much this track changed from start to finish for you.
A lot. It got a pretty tough run at top. That's why there at the end, I've kind of moved down to the bottom on one end. Just there wasn't much left up there. It was fast if you hit it right, but you know, I can see they were just as fast on the bottom, so just a lot safer to run down there.
Yeah, we saw John Darby working the bottom racetrack, Brandon Marlowe as well down there. Did that start to worry you that maybe the top side was starting to go away? And did you have a car that you could have held them off on the bottom there? We saw it looked very, very small and very tricky to hit that bottom.
Not very good on the bottom, honestly, so that's one reason I stayed up top so long. And yeah, I seen Marlowe was kind of the one I noticed. You know, he was dedicated to it. He was coming, but you know, once we got going, they really wasn't gaining on me. It was kind of equal, so I kind of just kept doing what I was doing the whole time and just tried to hit my marks.
Well, you did a great job there leading from flag to flag there, but throughout the whole night, the track changed a lot. Do you guys do a lot of changes or have a lot of time in the pits here tonight to make changes for the changing track conditions?
Just, you know, as the night goes on, just tighten the car up a little bit each race because, you know, it's getting slicker and slicker, but you can't get too tight because then the car won't turn. So, I mean, not really a whole bunch. Luckily, we've got me, Brandon Marlowe, and Jacob Lannister all run together. And we've been making a lot of laps at Knoxville, you know, trying to run for the spring fling and all that. So we've been racing here a lot last few weeks.
Well, you come home tonight, you're going to be the second driver in history to win here in the brand new All-Star Racing Series. What's that mean to you?
That's pretty good because the other guy that won's Jacob. That's a teammate of mine, so that's 2 wins for our team. So that's pretty good. Now we just need Brandon to have some luck. He's fast, so maybe next week will be his week.
Speaking of next week, we head down to the Volusia Speedway. How's that racetrack for you and your team?
Should be pretty good. I like that track better than this one. So the smaller tracks I tend to favor more. I don't like these big tracks too much, honestly. It's not as racy.
Well, before we let you go here, we'll roll out the red carpet, and we see a bunch of names on the side of this race car. Who makes it all possible for you?
It's everybody at DTJ, Brandon Marlowe, Jacob Lannister. We put in a lot of laps in these things, and then everybody else on the team. There's several others, but Milner, Media and Design for the wrap, and then that's about it. You guys for broadcasting, and Blake and all them for doing the league. So far, it's pretty good.
Well, congratulations on the win here tonight. We'll see you in 1 week's time down at the Volusia Speedway. That is tonight's feature event winner, the number 311 of Justin Holl. Finishing in the number 2 spot here tonight was the number 6 of Jeff Helton, and I don't have contact with Helton at the current moment. And but I can tell you right now, this driver worked the bottom of the racetrack and the middle of the racetrack and outside. Anywhere that their cars in front of him wasn't, he did a great job, and he comes home in that number 2 spot. And we want to congratulate him and his team here, as they had a great race all night long here in this number 6, a driver out of Missouri with the Diggs Penske Racing Shots JHR entry number 6, and hopefully we can take and get contact with the driver of the number 6, Jeff Helton, a little bit later on in the season. But want to get you a look at his race car here on the front stretch as he sits down here. And Jeff, congratulations on a 2nd place finish here tonight, as he and the driver that we're going to move down here to next had a whale of a battle the last few laps. And we move down here next door to him in the 00 is John Darby. And John, we were just talking about the last few laps, the battles that you and Jeff had, throwing the haymakers, but you had a very eventful night. You're going to come away as the hard charger of the race, so you had a lot of battles and a lot of things to come over through this field. Talk us through your race.
Ran a bunch of laps here this week and set myself up to be on the bottom. I figured the track would be slick and just practice hitting that little thin line at the bottom where there was still just a little bit of moisture to get the groove and get the grip off the corner.
We saw yourself and we saw the 37 of Marlowe running down there. You two looked like to have the best luck of hitting that. Racing here at Knoxville, how difficult is it to hit that bottom? We saw a few drivers get up on the inside berm, and that really upsets these late model cars. How tricky is it to go fast as you are here at Knoxville, have to woe it down and hit that little patch all the way through the corners?
It's pretty difficult to do consistently lap after lap after lap, especially for 50 laps. I couldn't do it, as you can see there on the end. I hit the hole, going into turn 3, and the car just bounced, and Jeff got by me.
Well, it was a great night of racing. You come up from your 12th starting spot. You're going to round out the podium. Off to a decent start this season as we look forward. We're headed to Volusia next week. What's the outlook for you and this Hood Up Motorsports team headed down to Volusia?
I think we'll have a pretty solid base. We had a good showing here tonight. I mean, 4th place in Larry, teammate of mine. So we've got a solid base set up, and I think we'll use it as a foundation for Volusia next week.
Well, you did a great job here tonight, and we see a bunch of names on the side of this race car. Who makes it all possible for you?
All the guys at Hood Up Motorsports, Beard FX Gaming, and JDM Graphics, and everybody else, man.
Well, congratulations on your 3rd place. We look forward to seeing you down at the Volusia Speedway in 1 week's time. But until then, keep it on the racetrack and keep it wheels down, will you?
I will give it a try, man.
There you go. That's your 3rd place finisher here tonight, the driver of the 00 of John Darby, and that will round out our post-race show. That was brought to you by Autocraft Paint and Body Works. As we will round out the evening here tonight, we're going to go through our racing order of finishes here tonight, and this is where your favorite driver has finished tonight in the 50-lap feature coming from the Knoxville Raceway. Justin Holt picked up the win, holding off Jeff Helton and John Darby, who had a spirited battle for that second and third spot. Larry Townsend will rebound nicely to finish fourth. Kyle Vandergriff with a top 5. James Braswell will finish 6th. 7th spot will go to Brandon Marlowe. Blake Brown will come home 8th in that number 28. Sage Luther rebounds to a 9th spot. And Tyler Carter will round out your top 10. Ryan Mowry will come home in the 11th spot, with Skeggy Thrash in number 150 will come home 12th. Mike Stevenson will finish 13th, with Sean Kostritza in the 14th spot. James Ferguson will finish 15th, with Jacob Lassiter 16th, Matt George and Andy Piercerfield rounding out your finishing order here tonight for the Knoxville 50 laps, presented by Autocraft Paint and Body Works here for the All-Star Racing Series. They thank you for tuning on in. And night number 2 is going to equal a number 2 winner of the season. The 311 of Justin Holt will pick up the win. We will come to you live next Tuesday night as the series heads to Volusia in the Sunshine State of Florida. Until then, stay tuned to the Turn 3 Racing Network for all your racing needs throughout the week, and keep it on the racetrack. But until then, my name is Al Smith, the Boss Man, and we'll see you at the races.